Hi friends, welcome back to Sana with Samantha. Now I apologize, it is raining outside at my house right now, and so if you are hearing that, I really apologize for the sound quality. I felt like it was important to get this flow shot, and so hopefully it'll be peaceful ambiance for you and not annoying, but I just had to get that out there. Now today's flow was inspired by one of my friends who, like me, has small children, and as a result, she has a lot of low back pain. And so I originally intended this flow to be for moms of young children, but really, if you're working at a computer or if you are working in the same ways over and over again, chances are you have some low back pain. So really, if you have low back pain or spine issues, then this flow is for you. There are some things that you can do to help with those problems. Now, please keep in mind that I am not there with you, and so I cannot see you. If you have chronic back pain or a back injury, then please go see a doctor. I can share with you simply what I know as a former massage therapist and as a yoga teacher and what I've learned through my own personal experience, but I am not a doctor and I am not there with you. So again, please make sure that you are taking care of your body and keeping that in mind. Now, the two greatest things that can help in my experience and in my knowledge base with low back pain are stretching the area and strengthening the area. Now, the back is a very broad area of the body, and for that reason, I'll probably need to create a few of these flows. So as soon as I've done that, I will compile them together and put them in a playlist for you. Now, today we're primarily going to be focusing on stretching the area and establishing proper spine alignment. So I'm apologizing ahead of time. It might feel like there's a lot of dialogue in the beginning of this flow, but I feel like it's really important to establish what a healthy posture should be like in your spine before we start actually moving through the flow. So that's what we're going to begin with today. The other piece of advice that I would suggest, in addition to what I'm about to explain in terms of spine alignment, is break up your routine. Start moving your body in ways that are non-familiar to you, non-habitual. If you start mixing it up a lot more with your body, you'll be surprised at how much your body adapts to those things. As soon as I started doing yoga again, after I had had my second child and started moving my body in unfamiliar ways, I was shocked at how quickly my body started to feel more energized, and I didn't feel like I was putting quite as much pressure in that low back area. So that is my extra little tidbit of advice for you. So let's go ahead and get started. So go ahead and come to stand up in Tadasana, just right in the center of your mat. Now, go ahead and place your feet hip width apart. You can just clasp the hands together and go ahead and close off the eyes. Now bring your awareness to your breathing. Feel your rib cage expanding front to back and side to side as you inhale. And as you exhale, imagine those rib points knitting back together. See what you can feel through your breath. If there are any points of discomfort, just observe them at this point. One more breath. Go ahead and blink open the eyes. Place your hands on your hips. We're going to check the alignment of your hips. Now I want you to imagine that someone has drilled a hole through your right hip all the way through to your left hip and stuck a pole right through there. Now if they were to place a level right on top of that bar, I want you to see if you can figure out if the bubble would be right in the center of that level. You want your hips to be parallel with the ground. Now take a look at your feet. See that they are pointed in the same direction. Notice if there's any tension, like if it feels uncomfortable to stand this way in this parallel position. And pick your toes up, spread through the toes, drop down your big toe, followed by each toe after. Really root down through the entirety of your foot. Now when you're working with alignment, it's always best to work from the bottom up, and that's why we're going down to the feet. I know we're focusing on the spine today, but that's why we're starting with the feet. Draw your feet isometrically together towards each other to lift the arches of your foot. Really press down through that center right underneath your big toe, underneath your pinky toe, and through the heel. Doing these 2 motions will help lift your arches. Now, look down at your knees, okay? Your kneecaps will be a very good indicator of whether or not you are standing in a good stance naturally. Now, if your knees are pointing the same direction as your toes, then chances are you're doing okay in terms of standing with parallel feet normally. If your knees are pointing inward, chances are you're standing with a little bit of turnout. If your kneecaps are pointing out, you might be doing a little bit of pigeon toe. So something to keep in mind, a healthy stance for your entire body begins with parallel feet on the floor. Now, whether your knees are pointed towards your toes or in another direction, don't sweat it. Go ahead and engage your quad muscles to see if you can lift your kneecaps. I probably should have worn shorts so that I could demonstrate this better, but go ahead and engage those quads. See if the position of your kneecaps changes at all as you do that. Typically, engaging the quads will help move your kneecaps into better alignment. Now, come back up to the hips. You stay where you are. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see what I'm talking about. Now, most people fall into 2 categories. Either in their lumbar spine, they have too much curve, like this, and it looks like their guts are kind of spilling out a little bit, or they have the opposite problem, where their buns are too tucked under, they don't have enough of a lumbar curve, and so they're really just a little bit too tight, both in here, and they're stretched a little too much here. So either here or here. See if you can move yourself into the neutral middle position. You want a healthy lumbar curve back here, but you also don't want to be overdoing it. If you're not 100% sure which category you fall into, go check in a mirror. I'm not there to see you, and oftentimes proprioception can be a little bit off in this arena, especially if you haven't checked in a little while. Now, again, see if you can find that neutral ground. So you have a nice little healthy curve here, and then bring your attention up to your rib cage. Allow the front of your rib cage to hang heavy. So this will help with your thoracic spine to create its natural curve as well. The natural curves of your spine are this way, and this way in your neck, okay? So keeping the lumbar curve, keeping the thoracic curve, right? Allow that just hang heavy in the front. And then bring your neck back to help with that cervical spine. Okay. Now check your shoulders and see that they also are hanging broad. And you can bring your hands back to the hips. So check your hips again, that they are even. I want you to pay attention to this alignment of your spine all throughout this flow today. So again, lumbar curve, heavy front of the ribs, neck back. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and start moving. So again, keep your feet about hip width apart. Let's inhale, arms come all the way up to the sky. Go ahead and interlace them, flip them inside out, lean over to the right side, exhale. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale over to the left. Inhale, back up to center. Hands down through heart center. Let's do this one more time. Inhale, arms all the way up. Go ahead and interlace, flip them inside out. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, lean to the left. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Go ahead and come to the top of your mat. We'll do just the first half of a sun A. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Again, watch your spine here. Your sit bones should be drawing up toward the sky. You do not want to be curving. You want to be extended. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump back, and just come straight into a downward facing dog. Go ahead and take a moment. You can set the posture if you want to pedal through the feet. Take a few little movements. But again, check your posture here. See if your hips are still level. See if your shoulders are still level. You want your hips to be drawing up toward the sky. Do you still have that lumbar curve? You still have the thoracic curve and the cervical. Go through your little checklist. If you have back pain, then paying extra attention to how your spine is feeling and the alignment of your spine is absolutely critical if you want to be helpful to yourself through yoga. All right, go ahead and bend the knees, come down. Let's come into a tabletop position. So stack knees and hips, hands and shoulders. Extend your left leg out long, tuck under the toes. We'll do a little calf stretch here. If you want to bring your hands just a little bit forward to add an extra pressure, you can feel free to do that. And again, check your hips. Are you coming this way or this way? Or are you even? And again, check those curves of your spine. Breathe. Do a nice little posterior stretch today. It won't be a super long stretch, but hopefully figuring out the alignment of your spine can be extremely beneficial. Help you stretch out that area. Go ahead and release that left knee down, extend the right leg out, tuck those toes. And again, stretch out that calf. And again, check your hips. So you'll get lots of reminders throughout this little flow. A couple more breaths here. Go ahead and release that knee down. And bring your hands back to stack them again. Do a little bit of cat and cow. Now, normally I have you lead with the pressure in your hands. Today, I want you to lead with your hips. So as you inhale, really bring those sit bones back and broad. So you're overcompensating in that lumbar spine. And as you exhale, tuck those bones under. So you're undercompensating. Okay, inhale, come forward. We're just mobilizing the spine this way. Exhale, tuck under. Now the best lesson here is that it's okay if you fall out of alignment as long as you have balance. But you don't want to stay in either position for too long because it can create an imbalance. And when you have the imbalance in your posture, it can create chronic pain over a long period of time. One more time. Inhale, sit bones back and broad. Exhale, sit bones tuck under. Back to neutral spine. Go ahead and tuck under the toes. Bring the bottom all the way back up for another downward facing dog. Hold here for just a moment. Go ahead and walk your feet forward to your hands. Bring them about hip width apart again. Take a nice deep bend in the knees. Grab hold of opposite elbows. You're going to sway here in ragdoll. Find some stillness. And then taking a deeper bend in the knees, bring your belly to your thighs and your arms back. So you're really extending your spine long and you're pressing that belly down into your thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come back up, extend that spine long, belly to thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and peel the body all the way up to stand. Head and neck come last. Good job. Go ahead and open to a wide leg stance, so your feet should be parallel, facing the wide edge of your mat. Bring them as wide as you can, while not compromising your knees or your hip joints. So as wide as feels comfortable. Inhale to grow tall, and as you exhale, forward fold. Now again, you want to be focusing on elongating your spine. So you don't want to be curving and curling over. You want to be nice and tall as you are folding. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Grab hold of opposite elbows here. You can just sway. Or you can just find some stillness. Walk your hands over to the right leg. Give it a hug. Walk your hands over to the left leg. Give it a hug. Come back to center. Half lift. And forward fold. See if you can walk your hands just a little bit further back. Or if you'd like to be up on blocks, that can be a really great place to be as well. Inhale, grow tall. You can heel toe your feet in just a little bit. We're going to turn our legs to the right. So pivot your right foot all the way so that it is pointing towards the short edge of your mat, and then angle that back foot 45 degrees. So you're in warrior one feet. But keep that front leg straightened. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, forward fold over that right leg. Again, if you want to be up on blocks, especially if you have back issues, being up on blocks is a really great place to be. So I highly encourage you to do that. If you feel that this is a stretch for you, more than what it's supposed to be, or if you feel like you're curving in your low back, grab blocks or books or a DVD set or whatever. Come up. DVDs. Gosh, I'm old. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold again. Now again, pay attention to the curves in your spine. Pay attention to your hips. Obviously your hips will not be completely level right now. They are squaring, not squared. But see if you can pay attention to where they are in space. The more awareness you have of your body, the more power you have to help it out. Okay, come all the way up. Let's reverse the legs. So bring the right leg parallel. Left leg should be pointed toward that back wall. And then angle your right foot 45 degrees so we are now facing the other direction. Front leg straight. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, forward fold over that left leg. And again, up on blocks is a really great place to be. Now I know this feels like we're stretching out calves and hamstrings more than the low back, but when you stretch out the lower limbs, it helps to create a situation where your hamstrings are not so tight that they are pulling your sit bones down and creating that too tucked under effect. So really tending to the base of your body really helps everything that is built up on top of it. And again, that's why we're starting down low and moving our way up. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. All right, go ahead and angle that back foot, then the front knee, plant the hands, step back into a high plank, and then just wave your body all the way back into a downward facing dog. Hold here. Go ahead and walk your hands through to seated. So you can just get this to seated however feels good to you. Extend your legs out long. Peel the flesh off of your sit bones so that your sit bones are really grounding down into the mat. Now, I did not grab my strap, which was stupid. If you have a strap, please use it. Inhale, grow tall, exhale, forward fold. So if you do have a strap, just loop it around and use it to bring yourself a little bit closer. The main goal here is to extend your spine up, tall, while still maintaining all of your regular, natural curves. Inhale, come back up. Bring the sole of the left foot in to the right thigh. Your right toe should be pointed up toward the sky. Check your sit bones that they are still relatively even though you're turned out now. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, fold to that right leg. Now, using a strap in these forward folds, especially if you have low back pain, can be really, really helpful because it is It just extends your arms longer so you don't have to work quite as hard to get deeper into the stretch. Inhale, come up. Go ahead and cross that left leg over the right. Inhale, grow tall, and as you exhale, give that knee a hug and twist to the left. And we're mobilizing the spine with twists. Inhale to unwind. Extend that left leg long. Bend the right knee so that the sole of the right foot is up against the left thigh. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, forward fold to that left leg. Check that both of your sit bones are still rooted into the mat. Collarbones broad. Bring that neck back if you're poking it a little bit far. Inhale, grow tall. Cross that right leg over the left. Inhale, as you exhale, give that knee a hug. Twist to the right. Inhale to unwind, extend both legs out long. One more time. Let's forward fold. Your feet should be flexed in this position. Inhale, come back up. Now let's come into Baddha Konasana. So, bringing your feet, the soles of your feet together. Draw your heels in as close to you as you can. Grab hold of your feet. Inhale to grow tall and exhale, fold forward. Now, as you can see, I can't get very far into this. That's okay. Work with the range that you have. Worry more about keeping your spine growing tall than about rounding. It's not about how close your forehead gets to the floor. It's about realigning your body. Inhale, grow tall. Extend the shape of your diamond so that it's a little bit elongated. Inhale, and as you exhale, go ahead and round the spine all the way down. So you can just bring your forehead down to the ground. Enjoy stretching out through the entirety of your backside body. And inhale and peel the body all the way up. Bring your knees together. Give your knees a hug. Come back to balance on your sit bones. Extend your spine up tall as if somebody's just pulling a string up top of your head, helping you to grow. Balance here for a moment. Something else that can be really helpful if you feel that your low back is being overworked is exercising the opposite muscle group, which would be your abs. That can be really helpful as well. You know, especially for young moms, you're holding a lot of weight on the front of your body and you tend to compensate in your low spine, or you're holding them on one hip and the other side is, it just throws you all out of whack. So work opposite muscle groups. If you're holding your kid on one hip, practice holding him or her on the other hip about as often as you do on your primary one. It can be really, really helpful. Go ahead and release those feet down. Okay, now before we roll down to supine, I really should have grabbed all my props before we started, so I apologize. I'm gonna go grab my block. If you don't have your block, pause me and go grab your block. Give me just 1 second. I'm so sorry. Super unprofessional. All right, go ahead and roll all the way down to a supine position. Awesome. Okay, grab your block, lift your buns, and place the block right underneath your sacrum. So it's that bone that is above your sit bones. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath your back and just bring your hands palm up on the floor. A restorative bridge pose. So this should be relieving some of the tension right in that low back. Especially if you tend to be one of those that has too much curve and it's like your guts are spilling out. This should help compensate with that a little bit. It's all about figuring out which type you are and then learning how to compensate in order to bring yourself back into a neutral position. Repatterning exercises are key. Sorry, I know there's a lot of dialogue in this particular flow, but I hope that it's helpful to you guys. Just hang out here for a little while longer. Take a moment to check your knees, that they are parallel to each other. Sometimes people can have a habit of letting them splay out or tilt in. See that they're parallel. In terms of your feet being parallel, you'll just have to use your proprioception. But they should also be parallel. A little bit longer. This one should feel really nice after trying to keep your spine so straight for so long. All right. We're going to move into a psoas stretch so you can keep your block where it is. Bend your right knee, grab hold with your right hand, extend your left leg long. So you should feel this in your hip flexors as well as in your deep core muscles. And on an inhale, bring both knees together. As you exhale, extend that right leg long. Grab hold of that left knee with your left hand. One more breath. Okay, go ahead and release that left leg down. You can bring both the soles of both your feet to the mat. Lift your buns up, release the block, and give your knees a hug. You can rock from side to side. Release the feet down. You can window wipe the legs. Nice big window wiping. All right, we're gonna make our way into fish pose. So you're gonna want this diamond shape to be underneath your sacrum. So roll a little bit over to the left to place your right hand down. Roll over onto that hand to place your left hand down. Extend your legs out long. Come up to the elbows just a bit. And then extend your head back, opening through the throat. Breathe. Go ahead and release down. You can rock to the right, left. Bring both knees in, extend your arms out into a T, and drop both legs over to the left. Inhale up to your center. As you exhale, drop both legs over to the right. It's always that option to use your hand to add a little bit of pressure and get a little bit deeper. Inhale, bring both legs up. Then we'll make our way into Shavasana. Now, in whichever variation you choose with Shavasana, you want to make sure you're paying attention to the curves of your spine. So it's as if a garden snake should be able to crawl through that little lumbar curve in your low spine, but you don't want it to be big enough that like a ferret could fit through there. So hopefully that's descriptive enough to help you know what kind of a space should be there under your lumbar spine. Now, if you are one who has a tendency to have your gut spilling out, then maybe take this variation where you put your feet at the edge of the mat and tilt your knees in together. Don't tuck your buns all the way under, but again, keep that little space. If you are one that has a tendency to tuck your buns all the way under, then take the traditional Shavasana with your legs extended, feet falling out to the side, and maintain, again, that little curve, okay? So take whichever variation is working for your particular alignment. Place palms of the hands up and close off the eyes. Now bring your awareness to each and every point of view that is connected to the ground. Draw that energy down. Feel the earth supporting you. And then just allow yourself to sink down. Now bring your presence back and allow your body to take some subtle movements. You can wiggle the fingers and toes. If you need to bring the hands to the abdomen. And then as soon as you feel ready, go ahead and roll to whichever side feels comfortable to you today and make your way up into a comfortable seated position. Eyes remain closed. Place the palms of the hand face up on the knees. And center yourself. Bring hands to heart center. And blink open the eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much for flowing with me today. I know it was a lot of dialogue, but I hope that this was helpful for you, especially if you do have low back issues. I hope that this was enlightening. I know we focused a little bit more on the alignment and a little bit of stretching today. So as I said before, I'll make sure that I do follow-up flows. They won't be immediate, but I'll make sure that we do more flows to help out with low back. If you have any specific questions or requests in this area, make sure you comment below. And if you did enjoy this flow today, please be sure to like and subscribe. There are new flows every Tuesday and Saturday. And if you want to be notified every time that there's a new upload, go ahead and hit that little notification bell. Thank you again so much. Have a swell day and namaste.